Hi everyone, this is BotPlayerAI, and let's go to today's news. Dead Space 3, the final installment of the sci-fi horror trilogy, was released in 2013 to mixed reviews from critics and fans. Many felt that the game had lost its survival horror roots and became more of an action shooter with a generic plot and a forced love triangle. However, the game's writer and co-producer, Chuck Beaver, has recently revealed that he would like to remake the game with a completely different story, one that would focus on the psychological trauma of the protagonist, Isaac Clarke. In an interview with YouTuber Captain Bribbo, Beaver said that he would keep some of the key lore elements of Dead Space 3, such as the frozen planet Tau Volantis and the giant necromorphs known as the Brethren Moons, but he would rewrite the entire main story from scratch. He said he would make Isaac a broken and unreliable narrator, who would not know if he was hallucinating or not, similar to Tyler Durden from Fight Club. He said he would also get rid of the love triangle between Isaac, Ellie, and Carver, and make Ellie's role more ambiguous. I would redo Dead Space 3 almost completely, Beaver said. I would keep the lore beat that it's predicated on, keep the lore you find out. I would have Ellie there but a different relationship, and I would redo the entire main story. I would throw away and rewrite. Beaver said he would make Isaac's mental state the main focus of the game, and keep the mystery alive until the end, when the player would discover that Isaac's visions of himself were actually real, and that the necromorphs had created a Dark Isaac to oppose him. The game's climax would see the two Isaacs fight each other, with Dark Isaac winning and setting up a potential sequel. I think though now in this remake territory, I would redo Dead Space 3 almost completely, Beaver said. Now we're in the consequences of him being broken, and I would make it like a Tyler Durden thing, an unreliable narrator, and you're like, what happened? And the player doesn't even know, Isaac certainly doesn't know, is it him? Is it really him? And maybe it is. I would keep that question alive for most of 3, until you realize at the end, it maybe actually is something real. Beaver also said he would probably remove the co-op feature of Dead Space 3, which he said was not necessary and caused technical problems and increased costs. He said that co-op was not part of the original plan for Dead Space 3, and that it was added later due to industry trends at the time. One of the biggest narrative challenges I've ever faced is that we didn't have co-op as a feature until a year into Dead Space 3, so we had not written the story to do that, Beaver said. By the time they figured out that co-op had to get in, there was just enough time to get the feature in on an engineering schedule. Beaver's comments come after the successful remake of the original Dead Space by EA Motive earlier this year, which received praise from critics and fans for staying faithful to the original game while updating its graphics and gameplay. The remake also sparked hopes for a revival of the franchise, which has been dormant since Dead Space 3. However, whether or not Beaver's vision for a remake of Dead Space 3 will ever come true remains to be seen. For now, fans can only imagine what a darker and more twisted version of Dead Space 3 would look like. Masahiro Sakurai, the creator and director of the Super Smash Bros. Series, has shared his thoughts on the future of the franchise in a video posted on his YouTube channel. Sakurai, who has been working on the Smash Bros. Games since 1999, expressed his doubts about whether he could make another game that would surpass the scope and ambition of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, the latest and most successful installment in the series. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate was released for the Nintendo Switch in 2018 and featured every fighter from the previous games, as well as 13 new characters added through paid DLC over a 3-year period. The game also included a huge variety of stages, music, items, modes, and other content from various Nintendo and third-party franchises, making it a celebration of gaming history and culture. The game has sold over 31 million copies as of June 2023, making it the third best-selling Switch game and the best-selling fighting game of all time. Sakurai said that he was proud of what he and his team achieved with Ultimate, but also admitted that he felt exhausted by the development process and unsure about what would come next for Smash Bros. He said that he had no plans to make another game at the moment, and that he was not sure if Nintendo would continue the series without him. He also said that he thought it would be difficult to push the series any further than it already has, given its massive size and complexity. As for what comes next for the Smash Bros. Series, even I'm not sure, he said. I feel we truly succeeded in making people happy with this game, but now that Smash Bros. Has grown to be monstrous in size, I'd say it's difficult to imagine an increase of this magnitude happening again. He added, every time, we managed to make a game that I had previously thought impossible, so I can't say for certain there won't be another, but I do think it would be difficult to push it any further than we have. Sakurai's comments echo what he said in previous interviews and columns, where he hinted that Ultimate might be his last Smash Bros. Game and that he was considering retiring from game development. However, he also said that he would like to keep working with Nintendo in some capacity, and that he enjoyed sharing his game design tips and insights on his YouTube channel. Ubisoft, one of the leading video game developers and publishers, has announced that it will be shutting down the online services for 10 of its older games on January 25, 2024. The affected games include several titles from the popular Assassin's Creed franchise, as well as other games from the Tom Clancy's Heroes of Might and Magic and Trial series. The decision to close the online services for these games is due to the outdated technology behind them, according to Ubisoft. Decommissioning the online services for older games is something we do not take lightly, however, it is also a necessity as the technology behind these services becomes outdated, Ubisoft stated in a blog post. The online services that will be discontinued include multiplayer modes, Ubisoft Connect rewards, account linking and syncing, leaderboards, and statistics. Players will still be able to access the offline features of these games, but they will not be able to use any online functionality or earn any achievements. The full list of games that will lose their online services on January 25, 2024 are: Assassin's Creed 2, Xbox 360. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, Mac. Assassin's Creed Liberation HD, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360. Assassin's Creed Revelations, PC. Ghost Recon Future Soldier, PC. Heroes of Might and Magic 6, PC. NCIS, PC. Splinter Cell, Conviction, Xbox 360. RUSE, PC. Trials Evolution, PC. Some of these games are over a decade old and have been surpassed by newer entries in their respective series. For example, Assassin's Creed 2 was released in 2009 and was followed by several sequels and spin-offs that improved on its gameplay and graphics. The latest installment in the Assassin's Creed series is Assassin's Creed Mirage, which was released in 2023 and features an open-world setting in Baghdad. However, some fans may still be disappointed by the loss of online services for these games, especially those who enjoyed the multiplayer modes or wanted to complete their Ubisoft Connect collections. Some of these games also have historical or cultural significance, such as Assassin's Creed Liberation HD, which was the first game in the series to feature a female protagonist of African and French descent. Ubisoft is not the first developer to shut down online services for older games. In October 2022, Ubisoft turned off online services for 15 other games, including Splinter Cell Blacklist and Far Cry 3. Earlier in 2022, Ubisoft also disabled online functionality for many more titles, such as Rainbow Six Vegas and Rainbow Six Vegas 2. Other developers, such as Nintendo and EA, have also closed online servers for some of their older games in recent years. Ubisoft advises players who want to keep playing these games online to do so before January 25, 2024. After that date, they will only be able to enjoy the offline features of these games. Ubisoft also thanks the players for their support and invites them to check out their newer and upcoming games. Bungie, the developer of the popular online shooter Destiny 2, has reportedly laid off an unknown number of employees, according to Bloomberg and various former staff members who announced their departure on Twitter. The layoffs come just 15 months after PlayStation acquired Bungie for $3.6 billion, a deal that included $1.2 billion for staff retention. The layoffs are said to affect mostly the publishing and engineering departments, as well as some of the most visible community managers and social media leads. Bungie CEO Pete Parsons reportedly emailed the staff on Monday morning to inform them of a meeting where they would learn more about the situation. The reasons for the layoffs are unclear, but some sources suggest that they are related to the delays of Bungie's upcoming projects. Destiny 2: The Final Shape, the expansion that will conclude the current saga of the game, has been pushed from February 2024 to June 2024. Marathon, Bungie's new extraction shooter that was revealed earlier this year, has been delayed to 2025. Another project, codenamed Gummy Bears, is also in development but has not been officially announced. Destiny 2 has been Bungie's main source of revenue for years, but the game has faced some challenges recently. The last expansion, Lightfall, was poorly received by critics and fans alike, and the game has struggled to retain its player base amid increasing competition from other online shooters. Bungie has also faced some legal issues, such as a lawsuit against a player who harassed one of its former community managers. The layoffs at Bungie are part of a larger trend of downsizing in the video game industry in 2023. Several other studios have also cut their staff this year, such as Media Molecule, Frontier Developments, CD Projekt Red, Epic Games, Telltale Games, and Team 17. Many of these studios have cited the rising costs of game development and the changing market conditions as factors for their decisions. The layoffs also raise questions about PlayStation's management and strategy, as Bungie was one of its most valuable acquisitions. PlayStation bought Bungie not only for its own games, which will remain multi-platform, but also for its expertise in live service games. Bungie was supposed to advise other PlayStation studios on how to create successful online games, but recent reports indicate that PlayStation may be scaling back its ambitions in this area. For example, The Last of Us Factions, a multiplayer spin-off from Naughty Dog, has reportedly been delayed indefinitely after Bungie gave negative feedback on it. The layoffs at Bungie have sparked outrage and sympathy from many fans and industry peers, who have expressed their support for the affected employees on social media. Many have criticized the management for making poor decisions that led to this situation, while others have praised the work and passion of the Bungie staff. Some have also called for better working conditions and unionization for game developers, who often face job insecurity and exploitation in the industry. That's all the news for today, October 30th, 2023. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. The links to all the subjects discussed in this video are available in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.